Hello and welcome to the Troyiverse. This is episode 43. It is August 4th. It's about 85 degrees in Philly today. It is beautiful. It is around like 4:09 p.m. I am I'm coming off of like a really long hiatus. Like I just premiered this last episode that y'all just heard, episode 42, today, and I actually recorded that like July 19th. So I'm honestly, it's been like weeks since I like recorded a podcast. So I haven't really been doing much but relaxing. Still doing my classes, celebrating, myself and my accomplishments and, my, educational career. School is still going well, still going good, still going great. Still got the, same GPA, 3.94. Just coasting that president's list. Coasted on the president's list. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying these two classes a lot. One of my classes is definitely dealing with positive psychology. So it's actually really refreshing to actually like read up on and learn about, especially because the fact that I've always felt like I've had a more positive outlook when it comes to psychology than anything else. Like, instead of framing or focusing on like the mental health issues, air quotes, if you will, I was focusing on the properties of helping someone become more comfortable in their own skin and their own like habits and their own, unique version of who they are as an individual, instead of trying to conform this individual into this dogma of like pigeonholing them and saying like this is what society deems normal, so you have to conform yourself into that mold, because we was already molded when we came into this existence already, and that mold was allowing us to be unique and allowing us to be ourselves. If it wasn't that, then we will all literally just be carbon copies of each other, and that would be boring in my opinion. But I digress. I've been doing a lot and nothing at all, honestly, but I am proud to say that I'm actually bought a treadmill, and I want to tell you how refreshing it is to be able to get my steps in and actually do some exercising and actually doing some like cardio that doesn't have to be outside on the track, or just my walking around a mall, or everyday society around people and stuff like that. Like, honestly, sometimes I just want to be able to just like watch something on YouTube or watch an anime and just get my steps in, instead of just being in my room and like sitting or laying down and relaxing and watching animes that way. But I am so excited. I feel good. Like, my heart rate is already like up. My I'm not being stagnant, because I do suffer from blood clots and blood stickiness and coagulation. So it comes to a point where when you are a person that is dealing with that type of situation, when it comes to the tackiness to their blood pool, it comes to a point where if you're staying seated for a long period of times, or if you're like not being as active or doing as much cardio as you should be, it makes it even more strenuous, and it pulls the blood in your system, and which causes more blood clots and stuff like that, which is is not good for you, which could cause either heart attacks or strokes and stuff like that. I actually watched a really good YouTube video last night about it, but now I get to actually have the added benefit of actually watching the stuff I enjoy watching in the comfort of my own home, where I'm on my treadmill, and I love it. I'm not going extra hard like when I started. Like I was doing like 20 minutes intervals or something like that. So it's at like 0.08 miles per hour type thing. It wasn't like I was really hoofing it because I still have like I'm still retraining my leg so I can actually have the best possible like benefits of like walking on it because I still use my cane or like that, but I'm enjoying this journey in my healing and stuff like that. It's really nice. I had to admit, like I am really proud of myself. What else? I've been watching a ton of anime. So much anime that I actually forgotten most of the anime I watched because it's all been like blending into like one big storyline, if you will. But I think the last one I think I mentioned on the podcast possibly was I want to say the apprentice healer or like the wayward hero that works in the slums or something like that, which was actually a good anime. It was really, it was just a slightly hero-y anime, but like I mean at this point you can't not find one that's not a hero anime at this point. But it was actually really cool. He was a hero. He was a healer that had a party, and the party kicked him out. that trope. It was like he had a unique ability that they took for granted. They kicked him out, and when they kicked him out, they gave him one gold coin, and was like, "That's your payment." Yada yada yada. He took that gold coin, and he actually met up with another character that he was cool with. And like not cool with, but he met up with another character he became cool with, if you will. And then they started to so on and so forth, find other people that they started to grow a bond with, and it was really good. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I hope that they have a season 2, but I don't think they have actually announced a season 2 yet. So it is what it is. What else? I ended up watching I can't think of what I was watching. I started watching the saga of Tanya the Evil. That show is beyond amazing. It's so good. It's so well done. I finished season 1. I haven't started season 2 yet, or the movies, but I will start those soon. At the time, I just didn't feel like reading the subtitles, so because I was doing other stuff, and that's why I was like, I'll just get back into it when I get back into it. But I did start Bye Bye Earth, which is actually really good. But I ended up because every week, there's a new episode of either the old country bumpkin, that the old country swordsman in the capital like that, or the kingdom, and you and I are polar opposites, and that time I reincarnated Islam. So every week there's a new anime on that note, and of course Jobless Reincarnation season 3. So like every week I'm like jumping back into those, which I don't care if I read the subtitles for those. Like as soon as that episode drop, I'm in it. But because of you and I are polar opposites, anytime I get acquainted into like this love genre, or this lovey-dovey cutesy wootsy drama type stuff, or comedy drama type stuff, like I just fiend for more. Like I really just search for more anime on that accord. So I ended up watching Tomo-chan is a Girl, and that was extremely well done. It's only one season. Apparently through the first season they actually was able to complete the whole novel of it in one fell swoop. When I tell you, they did such an excellent job with that anime, because it's only a half an hour, so it's only 26 minutes an episode, or like that, between 24 to 26 minutes an episode. But they have like they separate it into like two parters, so like 11-minute episode intervals in like both genres, so like that. And but it feels they put so much like meat and potatoes into the plot, into the actual atmosphere of the anime and the show, that it feels like it's a 45-minute show, like in the best way possible. So I enjoyed that so, like it was so well done. Like it was so cute. Like it's about a girl who is like she's a tomboy. It's not even like she's a tomboy. She's straight up tomboy. She was raised by like her dad, who like does karate, and he used to be like a thug in high school, but he's a shy guy. It's so adorable. He can't look his wife in the face because he start blushing and stuff. It's so cute. But like he taught her how to use martial arts and karate, and she has a crush on her best friend, who is also her next door neighbor, and he also learned karate from her dad, and like she doesn't know how to tell him, but it's funny, it's like she tells him, but she tells him that she feels like feelings for him, stuff like that, and she's in love with him, stuff like that, but he takes it as just like a playful, that's my bud telling me like they love me type thing, or that's my bro, or whatever. And like the whole anime is just literally her and her two friends basically trying to help her have him figure out that she's a girl and she's not a dude, and like to like her back type stuff. It's such a really well done anime. Like I applaud it for everything that it is. It was so well done. I'm also watching, because I ended up watching that in like a day. I'm also watching I think it's called like I'm Tired of Playing the Love Game, I Love You Game, and it's basically kind of a similar premise, where it's two high schoolers that knew each other since childhood, and they instantly when they was kids, they created a game called I Love You Game. Basically it's like they each tell each other they love each other, and they want to make the other one flustered by that acknowledgement of decoration of love, if you will. And the funny thing is that they both are actually in love with each other, but because they're playing this game and because they're so immature about it, they are trying to deny actually confessing that they actually are in love with each other, because neither of them want to lose the game. So it's so asinine. It's so hilarious. I'm like, I want to say like 3 episodes in so far. It's cute. It's adorable. It's so silly. It's so silly, but it's really good so far. What else have I been watching? I was watching. What's something else that I watched recently after between Saga and the it was one. Okay, it was. I remember it was one with the dragon. It was a guy. He got reincarnated into a new world, and he was like 7 feet tall or some shit like that. But he was like, what was his? What was his ability? I think he actually had a bunch of abilities. And he met up with a dragon in like a cave by accident. Like he actually fell into a cave. He found water. He was drinking from the water. The water was like permeating with like nothing but mana from like this dragon that was chilling there. The dragon actually asked for help because the dragon's egg wasn't hatching, so the dude actually put some of his mana into the egg, which made the egg hatch, and then he had a dragon companion. It was actually really cute. It was annoying at first because the only thing the dragon was doing was like making dragon noises. Oh man, I thought I got away from him. It was making dragon noises, and that was it. He was talking to the dragon, but it was making dragon noises, and it got to a point where I gotta figure I might have to turn my car over to drive somewhere else because they clipping the grass and it's actually really annoying. So hold on. Let me...
The FBI badge.
Mosey on over to another spot while I am doing this. So yeah, that was actually really cute. It wasn't anything extra. Like he really was just going and doing missions and side quests and helping people out in this what you call it. He actually had a lizard person as a companion. But the lizard person was actually really dope. And he had this like elf girl who was like, I wouldn't say she was a tomboy, but she was just like, she was the princess to the she was a princess to like to her elf kingdom, but she hated being an elf queen princess, and basically she like wanted to just go around and just do like side quests and like adventures and stuff like that, which was really cool and really dope. But it was one season, and it kind of was just a bunch of filler episodes. Like one episode was like really dope where they actually went into like the Dwarven Kingdom and they was fighting other stuff. But it was funny because they had like these giant crabs and like in the world, and it was funny because they was monsters. The giant crabs was of course monsters, but the people in that world didn't realize that you could eat crabs. So like him being like from being isekai, he found these crabs on his first journey, and he just started like destroying these crabs, and then he also had a bag of holding, which was dope. He was putting the crab meats and stuff like that into his bag of holding, or he would like make dinner with with him and the dragon. And so every time him and the dragon seen a giant crab, they would go on like this Wolverine like berserker rage mode, just so they could kill it and eat the crab. And everybody that was their companion, that was actually from that planet or from that world, was just like, "What are you doing?" It was so fun. It was a good anime. It was a really good anime. Another anime was almost exactly like that. Was what was it? It was I can't remember the name of it. It was very similar. It was very similar. It was a guy basically got isekai from his world, which was actually, it was so funny because his world was similar to the world he got isekai into. It was a summoning spell isekai, and he got transported to a new world. He had levels and stuff like that, but his levels was really low. And they had another person that was a hero that got transported, and he was a blind dude, but he was a scumbag. And it was so funny because like they was like, oh, his stats is like way higher than this other guy, so this other guy's is trash. And it was cold blooded because like the king sent the dude out to like right on the edge of like this forest where the demons were, and basically like left him for dead. It was so fucked up. They gave him a bag of holding that had a curse on it that would actually have the demons like come to him quicker. So like that, it was so dirty. But like because he actually had powers and stuff like that, he knew what he was learning his abilities and stuff. He was like, all right, let me just try some stuff out. And when I tell you, it was crazy because when you find out how he leveled up later on in the series, it was like, oh shit, that's crazy. That makes sense. But he literally just purified the forest that he was in front of, but not knowing that it was a whole bunch of stuff that was also being affected by the purification of the forest. So it was really dope. He ended up finding this demon girl who was asking for help, and like because he went back to the kingdom. He changed his appearance, went back to the kingdom, and like went to the guild house so he could like get a mission. He seen this little girl who was like, "Come to the forest," and blah blah blah, and like a whole bunch of a trio of like adventurer women actually was like, "Yeah, we'll help you. Like, we'll go with you to the forest and yada yada yada." And the little girl was a demon, and turns out she was a wolf demon, and he basically got the trio of heroes out of the way, and he stopped the wolf demon girl, and then she like turned into like turned into she turned into a I can't get away from these guys. He turned into like a demon girl, and it was the point where they actually they fell in love with each other. It was actually really cute. Like, it was really adorable. Like, she was like, yeah, but in my culture, if somebody is stronger than you, we submit to him basically. And he was like, I'm not trying to have, because it was crazy. It was crazy because his I want to say his like tutorial archetype, because he had like one of those like voices in his head that could like speak to him, saying like, you leveled up, blah 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 blah, like giving him notifications. And he was like, the wolf person is like trying to break out your spell. You should use subjugate to like get him under control. He was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing subjugate. Like, I'm not like he had slavery like of the demi people in his other world, and he was like, that's not my thing. He was like, I'm not that type of person who, I don't see why they should have subjugation. They're just people like anybody else, and yada yada yada. Like, even if they're just demi humans, what I mean, they're no less than we are. Yeah, he wanted equality, so it was really dope. Like, I really liked that they actually like put that into the narrative of the story of like that. That was really cool. But he kept fighting his own program that was trying to tell him like, oh no, subjugate her. He was like, no, I'm not. And because she surrendered basically, because the fact that she just ran out of mana, she was like, yeah, you're stronger than me, so I'm going to like make sure that you know what I mean, like, I'm going to keep you safe from harm because blah 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 blah. So it was just really cool. It was a really cool anime. It reminded me of oh, you know what it was? I remember what it was called. It was called Chillin' on Another World with level 2 cheat superpowers. That's what it was called. And it was really dope because of the fact that like it was just like, it reminded me of Farming in Another World, that anime, the Isekai anime, which is really cool. I really enjoyed the anime because it was just a dude who wanted to farm, and that's kind of like how he was. He was kind of like, I just kind of want to chill. Like, he's like, I want to like be like, I don't want to fight against nobody. I don't want to be in like a war with the humans and the demi-humans and stuff like that, or the humans and the demons and stuff like that. He was like, I just want to kind of chill and just kind of like do my own thing. And like, the king was trying to get him to be a part of the war. The demon lord came over and was trying to be like, have him be a part of the war. And he was like, no. And it was so funny because the demon lord ended up having a crush on one of the trio of women that was like the hero trio. And it was so funny because she didn't know he was the demon lord at first. But then when she found out, she was just always fucking stuck. Like, she was just stuck. It was so funny. But, like, she was petrified every time he came around, but he kept coming around so he could see her and shit. It was so fucking endearing. It was funny as fuck. But, that was, like, that was a hilarious anime. Like, I enjoyed that a lot. I was planning to see Spider-Man yesterday, but it started raining, and I didn't feel like going out in the rain and then going to sit in a AC riddled theater. And I was like, I'm good. I'm not trying to catch a food, but I do plan on seeing it tomorrow. Like, it's supposed to rain tomorrow too, but it's supposed to rain later in the day. On Wednesday, so I'm actually going to go and try to make sure that I, like, go early in the morning and make sure that it's one of those things where I get in, see the movie, and get out. I'm so looking forward to seeing it because, of course, I've been saying this since, like, it's been premiered, like, since the trailers came out, since I found out Sadie Sink was going to be in the movie. Like, I've been literally just been like clamoring about the fact that how happy I am because before they announced who she was, I've been saying who she was in the movie. I've been saying who she was in the MCU. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet. But I like it. I mean, I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy. I haven't seen the film yet, but I heard amazing things from people who have seen it. I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I'm a fan of like the movies, and I'm a fan of like the actors and actresses and the talent that are in it. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. I can't wait. And then to find out that a rumor about the movie was actually kind of true. Like, like there was a 3-minute cameo of somebody in the movie that I really enjoy as a talent and a character in the MCU as well. So I'm super stoked for it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow. I can't wait. I've been keeping up with a new. I would hope to say akin to Friend, if you will, but I want to say that Crystal R on TikTok is doing her thing. Like I've been able to like see a couple of her and listen in on a couple of her lives that she's been doing on TikTok. She tried to do it like once a day, but usually she'll hop on like twice a day, sometime in the morning and sometime in the afternoon or like evening. And when I tell you, like, she's been like top tier with her like advice, and with she's been really like telling the people and telling those that's been like interested in hearing what she has to say. I agree with her 110%. Like I really think that if you haven't had the opportunity, and if you're on TikTok, if you haven't had the opportunity to like check her out, then I say like please like check her out, give her a like, give her a follow, listen in on some of her lives and see how, if you enjoy what she's speaking out and sharing with the rest of the world, because I think it's needed. It's very much needed, and all this doom and gloom that's going on right now, and all this like times of uncertainty. Like I really feel like at this point, like if you can find a space and find a person who is literally trying to help and trying to share just kind words of like inspiration and just like knowledge, like go for it. And she has a lovely speaking voice. Honestly, it's very comforting. I have to say, like in my opinion, for myself, it's very comforting. But yeah, I've been enjoying this time off, if you will. I've been enjoying this like time of relaxation, if you will, because everything's been going like wild and crazy in the world. I mean, we had like the 17th ceasefire of like this whole not war between Iran, it's not real, and the orange shitbox, like China and Russia are honestly more like illuminatedly involved in this whole concept than they were before. Like it's a lot going on right now. The gas prices has been skyrocketing. Like, all right, so I didn't go out. I think I came out last week. Went shopping, did my thing, stuff like that, and I didn't come out since last week. But last week when I came out, the gas prices for regular my gas station I usually go to is like, it was at $4.07. The last time I came out, I went past it today, and it was at $4.19. So like, it's like I said, it's wild. I am so grateful that my gas tank is still like on full. Well, actually, it's like a quarter to full, because I was I drove around a little bit more than usual 2 weeks ago, like that. But when I tell you, it's wild. That is like it's crazy. It's like the effects of it is actually starting to show now of how this, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is affecting us on our pockets and stuff like that. I am scared to go into the grocery store to see how much everything's going to cost. Now, luckily, I have a bunch of stuff already. I want to get a little bit. I want to get some more rolls, some bread, and some seafood. I might get my seafood salad and my macaroni salad, and I have enough seaweed, and I got enough, of my crack Ritz crackers and stuff like that. But I want to make sure I get some more nibbles and some more wine for myself. But I am I'm happy, dude. Like when I tell you, and not to mention just a beautiful update again. Like I was able to talk to my daughter last week, and it was fantastic. Like it was so adorable. Like she is my mini me through and through. It was so funny because she was telling me how she was playing Minecraft, and it was so adorable how because she's my mini me. There's no reason to sugarcoat it, not like that. She was telling me how she was playing the game and how she was mining and she was trying to sell her wares in this town. And she was like, oh, I was trying to sell my wares, and I have 4 houses. And I was like, I know there's more to the story. It's not one of those things like you're telling me, oh, you were selling your wares, and then all of a sudden now you got 4 houses. Like, how do you what? So later on, maybe 4 minutes later, as she's still telling me about she's telling me about the house and how she has a mine underneath the house and how it's dope and stuff like that. And then she was like, I kind of killed everybody in town. She was like, I was trying to sell my stuff and they wouldn't take it, so I kind of killed everybody. I was like, oh my God. She massacred the town. It's hilarious. But of course, I'm like, hey, it's only a game. Nobody was hurt. It's totally fine. But I'm like, that's it. You know what? It's not like I haven't done it myself. It's not like I haven't played Skyrim and I went off and it just was like, you know what, motherfuckers, I'm killing everybody. I don't give a fuck. Everybody get on my nerves right now. I'm killing everybody in town. And literally just made a barren town in one of the towns and just rolled out into the next one and act like nothing happened. This is like, all right, I'm it's cool here. But it's so funny. She was also telling me about this other game that she want to play that she hasn't played yet, but it sounds so wild and so psychological. But I don't know if it's supposed to be a horror game or if it's supposed to. But it's I don't know. It sounds interesting as hell, and she sounds very excited about playing it. And I hope that if she doesn't get to play it soon, that when we do actually meet up and stuff like that, I'll get it for her and then she can play it then or whatever like that. Because I already plan on getting her. I was already planning on getting her to Switch 2 or like that, and having her play that a handheld or like that. But I'll see how that comes about when we meet up. But I want to say maybe one more conversation between her and I, and then I'll throw down the gauntlet and get my attorneys and stuff like that to start the process on doing this lawsuit and stuff like that, so we can actually really start moving forward, and I can get my lick back and financial look back for everybody who said shit about me, and I can get my daughter back, and we can keep it moving, go on trips around the world and go camping trips and stuff like that, and Canada woods, which is so funny because I follow a bunch, like, complete side note, but I follow a bunch of people in Canada. It's like between like Casually Comics, Sasha Casually Comics, Dungeon Dudes, who else? A couple other people that I follow on different social stuff like that. None of the people from Canada was talking about the fires in Canada. Like, remember how it was? They was like, oh, it was like 800 something fires happening in Canada, and that's the reason why like the air quality is all like messed up and everything, and all over America. Nobody was talking about nothing, no fires. And mind you, that was like what, 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever like that. Like, so like the stuff that they film and they air, like, comes out pretty much a week or 2 weeks after, you know the date. Like basically kind of like how my podcast runs, more like that. So it's like nobody has been talking about the fires at all. Not one. Like, now the people in America, of course, talk about the fires and talk about the smoke and yada yada. But yeah, like it's been interesting. So there's that. But yeah, it like going back to like talk about my mini me. Like, she is hilarious. She's the sweetest thing ever. She's so funny. She got a new friend, like in church camp or like that. So I'm like, oh, that's adorable. So I'm looking forward to talking to her again either this week or next week. I haven't even set up a date yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I am at the point now where like every day is like a gift, honestly. Like before, it was one of those things where it's like I was so grateful to be alive, and I was grateful for everything I was experiencing and stuff like that. But it was still that thing of like, what more is going to happen before I'm able to really enjoy, instead of just also being grateful, but also enjoy this existence and stuff like that. Like. And yeah, like, I have to say, being able to like reconnect with my mini me has been like so like ecstatic. Like, I'm literally on cloud nine. It was so funny because me and the mediator that I hired have been cracking up in our personal conversations, because we usually kind of do like a post conversation, like a post text message back and forth a little bit between, after like I talk to my mini me and stuff like that. Like, we'll like converse ourselves, like, oh, I think it went really well, or yada yada, and we both in accordance and agreement to saying like it feels like it's becoming more natural, and it is more of her allowing herself to like be natural and be like her normal self and like open up. So it's like I'm really grateful for it. I'm really happy for it, because I was also feeling the tension of it too, of being like, I know she has her guard up, and I understand why, and at the same time, like, I look forward to the days when she doesn't feel like she needs to have her guard up, and like thankfully that those days are happening now already. So I was just ecstatic. I'm on cloud nine. I am. I'm sorry. Somebody just messaged me. Oh, 448 by the way. 448. Like, yeah, didn't mean to giggle. Just I don't know. I get a smile every time I see that they reply back, or we are continuing our discourse with each other. But regardless, side note, don't need to digress. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where my mini me and I, like, father-daughter relationship grows into, and just to see her laughing again and smiling again, and like hearing the excitement and passion in her voice when she talks about the things that she loves. It takes me back to how it was when like all this was going down before, and it was just such a great. It was a great time in my life that I yearn for again, and it's so great. And I look forward to it. I really do look forward to it. Honestly, it really is one of those things. Like it's the sunshine after the rain. Like it really is like the rainbow after the storm, and like just being able to like really kick back now and just be like, okay, like yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Like it's nice. It's nice. I can't. I like if I could talk about this forever, and it would just be me saying the same thing over and over again, but without it not being mundane or pointless to me. Like I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying this moment in time, and I'm excited for the future moments in time of everything that's going on. Like I really feel like I quantum jumped into the best timeline. I mean, regardless of everything else that's going on in the world, and it is wild out there, but like my slice of heaven that I'm living in right now has been delicious. I mean, honestly, it's been really great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to so much stuff right now. Like I have to hit up one of my friends and find out if he is going to be getting the early beta testing for Gears of War E-Day, because we're supposed to actually get E-Day to play that. It's funny because I asked him if he was down for it, if he wanted to play the whole saga, literally like from. Because now, like, so I'm like, if we do it in chronological order, it has to be E-Day first now, of course. But like, I was like, if you're up for it, we could do Gears 1 to Gears 5, just co-op mode, just run through the whole saga of that whole storyline, and get it in. So he said he's down for it. So honestly, if I can like find some other people that's looking like to run in that game too or something like that. Because honestly, we could probably do horde mode, but I can't remember if you can do. I know you can do co-op in the first, all the games, but I can't remember if you could do more than 2 players co-op in all the games. I can't remember, like through the story mode, not like the horde mode. But anyway, regardless, I'm looking forward to that because I haven't played like a co-op game with somebody in years, and I miss that feeling. That's how I got into first-person shooters in like the first place, because like of course it was the Halos and stuff like that, but usually it was like you go over your homie's place and like y'all play Halo like on the split screen and yada yada yada. But it wasn't until it was COG World at War where it was really getting into the first-person shooter. Now don't get me wrong, we was playing Left 4 Dead as well, and we was doing that like co-op too, but it's been a minute since I was able to play like co-op and through like the whole concept of the 2-player like co-op mode or like that. So I'm looking forward to it again. I'm excited. So, but anyway, regardless, I want to see if he's going to get the beta test that's coming out this weekend. I believe it's the 8th through the 10th, but I'm not. I gotta look it up. I got email from it like yesterday, so I gotta hit him up and ask him. But regardless, if he does or doesn't, I'm getting it because I'm pre-ordering it and I'm going to be playing regardless. But yeah, man, I'm excited. So between that and of course Wolverine is coming out next month. Which is wow, because I remember literally 2 months ago when I pre-ordered it and like on the 2nd of June. So I was like, this time is going fast, and I'm excited. But yeah, looking forward to all this that's happening. Looking forward to the future. I am so ready for it. I'm so prepared. I can't remember if I actually mentioned I got my chemical hazmat suit. I got. I ordered because I was like, hold on. If they keep talking about nuclear wars and stuff like that, like I gotta make sure I'm like tip top. So I'm getting my I was like, I got my nuclear hazmat suit. You know what I have to get? I gotta get duct tape. I have to get duct tape. So I'm actually probably going to order duct tape in my next order that I get when I get some more of my supplements and stuff like that delivered to me. But regardless, yeah, I have a full like hazmat suit ready to go, and I have my gas mask. I got more filters. I have what else I got? Yeah, I got all the stuff I talked about before. I still got all that. I still got my solar powered generator. I got my ham radio that's also solar powered. It's a crank ham radio that's solar powered and has batteries, stuff like that. That reminds me, I have to get batteries when I go to the store today because my remote control for my treadmill actually takes AAA. And I had to use I thought I had AAA batteries. I think I do have AAA batteries. I just don't remember how I placed them. They're somewhere in my room. But I took the batteries out my fan remote and I put it into the remote for the treadmill. So I gotta get more AAA batteries while I'm at the store now, so that I can put that into the fan remote and yada yada yada. But I think that's pretty much. Oh, one last thing. This actually is going to take a lot, so I'm actually happy I remembered it. Because I'm always on TikTok. Okay, all right. Here's the thing: why I'm always on TikTok, because I no longer have an X account. Because honestly, I was already going to cancel my X account anyway, but because of the fact that I got booted from my X account for some reason, or I guess it was hacked. I don't know what's happening with it. But I don't got access to it, so I'm no longer on X. So if anybody ever get anything from I am Troyiverse or Welcome to the Troyiverse from like X, that's not me. That hasn't been my account for like since the better part of this earlier part of this year. So, but regardless, I still have Facebook. I of course have TikTok. I have Instagram. I have Blue Sky as well. I usually actually post more on TikTok and Blue Sky. Well, actually, no. I think I post my what I watch on what animes I watch on Facebook. So honestly, if I truly wanted to right now, I could probably scroll through my like Facebook and like actually call out all the stuff that I actually watched on my all the animes I watch, something like that. So actually, that's a good thing. That's a good thing I could probably do right now. Hold on. Let's see here. So let's say, yeah. So yeah, I talked about Baba Earth, and I talked about Tomo-chan. Is a girl. Okay. There it is. I just watched. I just watched the anime. It's so funny. That's what I mean when I'm saying, like, I watch so many animes, I'll be forgetting I watched them. So, I just finished one called The Legendary Hero is Dead. Hands down, it speaks to me as a person. Like, he was such a unique character. I've never seen a character like he was on a line of being like a Master Roshi character or like what's his name from Naruto, Jiraiya. He was one of those type characters. Yeah, I mean even what's his name from Naruto? He was always reading the hentai books. Their first teacher, not their first teacher, but their Team 7's instructor. Not Guy Sensei. I can't remember his name. That's funny, but regardless. But yeah, he loved thighs. He loved thighs. He loved fitting stockings on thighs, and he loved girls that wore stockings. And that was his whole. That was his whole personality. That was his whole personality. It was so funny. It was such a good anime. I enjoyed it. It was really great. When yeah, I talked about chilling in another world with level 2 superpowers, super cheap powers. I did watch Beast Tamers. I watched Beast Tamers. Beast Tamers was actually really good. Beast Tamers was actually really, really good. What else did I end up watching? There's a lot of shared stuff. Jack of all trades, hero of none was really good. That was one I really enjoyed watching. What was this one? And you thought there were never a girl online. That was good. That was trippy because the plot was wild. The plot was wild because it was the main character who played video games with he played MMO with his team, and he was able to meet the team that he played the MMO on, like online with, in real life. And it turns out that all his teammates actually went to the same high school as him, which was like super convenient and ironic. But one of the teammates, well, actually, all the teammates was women, which was hilarious, but except for him. But one of the teammates actually had a psychological break where she literally could not differentiate between the game world and the real world, and she thought the game world was actually the real world. So she would call everybody, even during school times, their game characters. It was interesting. They was literally trying to help her, but they were children. They aren't therapists. Like, even like the even like the teacher that also was like, who played the game, which that part was hilarious. She had a whole cult. Like she had like 30 fucking gamers who like adored everything that she did. It was fucking hilarious. She's not a psychiatrist, so they was trying to help out. They was trying to help the student, but it wasn't working because they didn't know the technical ways to try to help this girl. But it was actually a really good anime. Thankfully it didn't go anywhere crazy with it, with the storyline or plot. It was actually really wholesome, and it was really well done. I liked it. I ended up watching season 1 of the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. Adorable. It was another one of those like boy meets girl in high school like trope. They were friends, but they basically was the other's one's missing link, if you will. Like, they basically just enjoyed each other's company, and they like fell in love with each other, but they didn't want to cross that line because they didn't want to make the other one uncomfortable, but everybody else could see that they was in love with each other. It was just, holy shit, dude. Sorry, I literally looked to the side, and I know I'm not sure if y'all can hear the train that passes like every few like half an hour or 20 minutes or like that when I'm doing the podcast, but I'm hearing like I'm this train tracks next to me, and I look over to the side because I'm hearing like voices or like that, and I see 4 kids walking on the train tracks, and instantly Stand By Me just literally just popped in my head. Like, they're doing a Stand By Me. I just, I hope they pay attention and look up so that, when the train comes. But anyway, what else? Yeah, that was such a good anime. I did watch and I finished. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out. That was hilarious. That was really well done. I enjoyed that a lot. What this one was? Oh, am I actually the strongest? Was actually a good one too. I actually finished that. That was really well done. I would hope that it's getting a season 2. I'm not sure if it is or not yet. I think I looked it up, but I can't remember if it's getting a season 2 or not. What else did I end up watching? No. No. That's why I'm so happy. I'm actually like, I'm actually like posting up on my Facebook what I'm actually watching, so I can actually catalog all this stuff up there. I want to say that I want to say I'm pretty much caught up. Yeah, because this is July 18th. Yeah, so the last anime after that was, or the last anime before that. Yeah, I clearly must have talked about that already. I talked about all that already because I haven't. Oh, the last one I talked about was the last one I posted before my last week's podcast was July 12th, and that was Adventurer's Daily Grind at age 29, which is good. It has potential, but also by the end of the series, it started staring into it. It started staring into like not so cool territory. Like it wasn't like, because basically it was a thing where it was a human dude who was an adventurer, and he basically met up with he meets up with because actually it was two of them. I was sorry. I actually got confused by both of these because it was all similar. It was both of them had similar premises and also similar fucking what you call it. But this was the one where I want to say he met up with this little girl in a dungeon. Because she snuck into the dungeon because she was supposed to. The dungeon, you're supposed to sign into the dungeon. Like, it was like an old dwarf dude who was sitting there. It was kind of similar to the same old dwarf that was asleep in Freerun's episode, first season. But he was knocked out. The main lead character comes in, wakes him up, signs into the dungeon. He goes into the dungeon and he starts, like, farming animals and stuff like that, killing them off, grinding and stuff like that. But then he notices 2 pairs of legs sticking out of a slime's mouth. And he goes and kills the slime and helps out the little girl. And it turns out the little girl snuck into the dungeon. She didn't sign in. She almost got killed. So sad. And so he basically like took her in. It was like, I would take you to the orphanage and like, yada yada yada. And, give you to the orphanage so you could be cool and not die and shit like that. And the orphanage was like, no, we can't take her because even though you're giving us like a big ass boar meat to like help feed like the rest of these kids, it's not going to be enough for just raising her and getting her like clothes and education, yada yada. So he's like, all right, cool, fuck it, I'll like raise her, I'll take care of her, stuff like that. But it turns out the girl was wait, was that one? Sorry, because they both had the same premise. No. She ended up being the little girl ended up being a succubus. So every night, even though she had a little girl body, she would like, for no reason whatsoever, they never explained her powers, no, like her abilities, but she would grow into like this like young adult woman body with like that for no reason, never made sense. But yeah, it never went anywhere farther than like her just changing like her like size up like that at night. Where she did started getting like a power, Jean Grey powers, where she was able to go into people's dreams and stuff like that. And then her abilities was actually starting to corral and call in monsters to the town. but she would always turn like back into a little girl. She was like making little friends and stuff like that in her school and anything like that. Nothing like untoward happened to her. The dude didn't do anything untoward to her, thank God. But it was turning into a thing where she was becoming infatuated by him because he was, her hero type of stuff. But thankfully, he wasn't like reciprocating those type of feelings towards her like that. He was basically like, hey, I'm just helping you out, taking care of you, yada yada. So thank God for that. But like, it was just staring too close to the edge of that, I was just like, I'm good. But those were the animes that I watched, and it was reminded because there was another anime that was similar to that, where it was a dude who picked up a little demon girl in the woods. He was going out in the woods doing a similar thing of grinding for monsters and doing one of the guild's missions or whatever like that, and he finds her in the woods right when he's about to leave, and he takes her, and the only thing she knew how to speak was the demon language. Luckily, he knew how to speak demon language because of the fact that he knows how to use power, magic, and the magic in that world also had demon language in it. So he was able to talk to her a little bit. Then he brought her back home to his place. So he was living in a top loft of like this diner where his old master of like swords mastery was like, he worked at, like he was his old sword master was a cook, and him and his wife ran the diner, and he lived in a loft over top of their like diner basically in the back. And he brought her in, took care of the girl and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. So it was like a similar premise type thing. But besides her being a demon, she didn't really have any type. I mean, she had magic powers, but she didn't know how. I think she knew how to heal. She had like healing powers, but of course she was a kid, so she really didn't like. It wasn't like she was powerful or nothing like that. But also because of the fact that she's a demon, she ages differently. So I think she was like. She looked like she was like 4, but she was really like 8 or 9 or something like that. But that was also adorable. But at the end of it, they also did the infatuation thing of her trying to be like falling in love with him type thing, and it was like stand too close to the edge. It doesn't need to go there. But regardless, those are the animes I watched between this whole time when I was on break, relaxing, chilling, stuff like that. But since I digressed so far off the trail, I'm going to talk about what happened on TikTok. So I'm not sure if you've been on TikTok. I'm not sure what your algorithm has been showing you, or if you've been abreast of this or not. But I've been keeping an eye out on all the stuff that's been going on in this bisexual men conversation. And when I tell you, I think it is one of the funniest things ever, because first of all, if I did add more detail behind it, basically women of a certain homophobic diaspora, because that's all it is, a biphobic homophobic diaspora, have nothing else to complain about other besides men, because of the fact that that's all they want to talk about is complaining about men. Now they want to talk about how they don't want to date bisexual men. And the funny thing is that every reason why they say they don't want to date bisexual men, it's a homophobic reasoning behind it. So of course, because they put their own selves out there in this conversation, in this discourse about all their homophobic and biphobic reasonings why, people have literally been clapping back finally and talking about how this is really toxic behavior, it's toxic femininity, and it's really fucking bullshit. And they is now, and everyone keeps saying the same thing. Everybody on the other side of this homophobic / biphobic conversation has literally said the same thing. If you're a homophobe, be a homophobe. You're biphobic, be biphobic. That's who you are, but at least take stock in the reasons why you're like that. Also, to add, no one is telling these women that they have to date bisexual men. No one is saying, like, I don't even understand. Like, this is the funny thing about it in this discourse, because no one knows. I don't even understand or know how the first conversation started about these women bringing up bi men in the first place. But I mean, I can take a gander. I can take a reasonable understanding guess of why. But regardless, like, everyone's saying the same thing. Y'all don't have to date bi men. No one's telling you to date bi men. No one's saying that the only way that you can get out of being homophobic or biphobic is by dating bi men. Everybody's just saying that y'all are homophobic or biphobic, and that y'all need to, like, evaluate yourself. Just look within and, like, find a better course. Find a, like, enlightenment on why you are that way. And, like, yeah, honestly, I don't know what, to do with that. Like, stop being biphobic? or continue. It's up to y'all. Like, honestly, no one really cares what y'all doing. It's just, they just keep digging their hole deeper in this, like, biphobic and, like, homophobic rhetoric. And it's just fucking hilarious. But my whole 2 cents of this is the reason why I stopped trying to date women, and why I stopped dating people in general. Because when it comes down to it, I've already told y'all my story. Y'all already heard my story. My whole thing is I'm attracted to women and those who, present themselves as women. That's the clearest statement I can possibly say about my attraction level of what it is. I can find men attractive. It's not one of those things that it's a common day thing. Like, I have my male attractions that I had when I was younger. I still have those, like, the Blair Underwoods, the John Cusacks, the Josh Hartnett's and stuff like that. Attractive as men. I can say that without any bias or being, like, any fear of being called a homo, yada, 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 yada. But when it comes down to it, I would rather date a Zendaya, a Zazie Beetz, a Floris Pume, fucking Hunter Schafer. Like, that's the areas where I'm at. That's where I'm comfortable being at in my attraction levels. But regardless of all that, when it comes down to it, my issue and my problem is when it comes down to the narrative or the behavior or the attitude of what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. Meaning, these same women are the same women that are being in the background saying how if a guy didn't want to date a woman as a certain size, plus size person, or even like a certain size of, like on the anorexic end of being like a, Ariana Grande or a Miley Cyrus or something like that, then it's body shaming if the guy do that. And then they're a horrible person if they do that, or yada, yada, yada. However, the fact of the matter, which I find funny, is these women are literally trying to say everybody who's literally saying they're biphobic or homophobic or yada, yada, yada is trying to coerce them into being in a relationship with a bi male, which literally shows that they understand that when they actually come at dudes about them being called out, air quotes being called out, saying like they're fat phobic or anorexia phobic or something like that, then they're coercing those men to date people that they're not they don't want to date. So, because once again, you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're coercing me when it comes down to no one actually literally saying that. No one's literally saying you got to date bi people, bi men. But they're literally like, you're coercing us because you're telling us that we're homophobic, and the only way we could not be homophobic is we date bi men. It's like, nobody said that last part. We just said that you're homophobic, biphobic, full stop. Y'all keep adding on the whole dating by Ben part in the background, but no one's asking for that. Nobody's coercing you to be in that position. However, on the flip side, this is what women do to men on that side, being like, no, this is who you are, and the only way you can do it is by blah 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 blah. So clearly, when it comes down to it, it's the whole point of contention when it comes down to saying, like, these women have been doing this to men this whole time and have been using coercion, which I still find funny because we just literally came off of the whole thing about the dude literally leaving the voice memo, and in the voice memo saying what he wanted to say up front, which was something that women was literally saying that they wanted the dude to say, like, stop playing games and say what you want up front, yada yada yada. And he says it up front. Now they pull back, they move the goalposts again, and was like, oh, since he said it what he wanted, that's coercion, even though it wasn't coercion, because he literally just said, this is what I'm looking for, and if that's not what you're looking for, we should go our separate ways. That's literally an adult conversation of saying, this is my boundaries, these are my needs, and if we can't meet in that fucking position of what my needs and your needs want, then we should just find people that will meet our needs. It's not rocket science. It's a healthy adult conversation and communication. But regardless, don't want to go that fucking tangent again. But, like, it's just funny because of the fact that with the whole bi conversation, it's just so funny because I'm not sure what... First of all, let's just be clear about this. I don't know what openly bi male men are actually looking for straight women or women who, like, see themselves in this, like, straight, like, discourse or straight conversation discourse. Because perfectly honest, like, I used to hang out, because I honestly don't hang out with anybody anymore, but I used to hang out in the LGBT community a lot. Like, I hung out with everybody. I hung out with, the quote unquote average, like, urban black people. I hung out with the, like, quote unquote goth people, black goths. I hung out with, like, different, like, white people, Hispanic people. I hung out with just the rainbow of LGBTQ plus communities. Like, I hung out with everybody. I hung out with the jocks, I hung out with the nerds, I hung out with the writers, the sophisticated ones, the stoners. Like, if there was a group of people in the 90s from the movies, from, like, 10 Things I Hate About You, or, like, the Breakfast Club type archetype, then I pretty much sort them out to hang out with them, to kind of be around them and see how they tick and who they were, stuff like that. I enjoyed doing that. So I hung out with a lot of different aspects of different people. The openly bi men that I hung out with, they weren't checking for, like, those women that deem themselves straight and yada yada yada. Like, the ones that will use all the perks of being around a gay man or a bi man, but they didn't want to date them type thing. It wasn't like the blades. Like, I call these women the bi blades. They get all the benefits and none of the weaknesses type thing, because they get all the benefits of being around a homosexual male who, like, yada yada yada, won't try to fuck them and be all, like, girly with them, and yada, slap their ass, but it won't be a sexual ass slap. It'll just be like a go girl slap ass type thing. They can show the dudes the tits, but they know that dude's not going to be all like, ooh, oogly boogly. He could be like, yeah, girl, it goes away, or an older one will be like, yo, you got your tits done, well done, like, that's awesome, like, let me feel them out, they feel like real tits, blah blah blah, like, that's the only real tits I'm ever going to feel in my life, so shit like that. But they would never date them type shit. So I call them the bi blades. But, like, the bi men that I hang around, they were checking for those. They was checking for the more, alternative women, the ones that was open-minded about sexuality, the ones that was like, oh yeah, I like gay stuff that are also dudes that actually mess with other dudes' gay stuff, like those type women. So it was always such a weird. Oh, yeah, the Stand By Me kids are back. Sorry. I just see this there. I just like so. It was just. It was so. It's so weird hearing this weird discourse about these like women who are like, I just want straight men because I want to act like men and blah 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 blah. Which is also funny because the openly bi men that aren't checking for them, these are the same women who are messing with dudes who are basically on the down low. And it's hilarious because I agree with this person who I watched on TikTok talking about this discourse. And he was like, you do realize you're making it worse for y'all dating pool, because if y'all are openly admitting and openly talking about how y'all not going to try to date bi men, then a lot of these DL dudes are literally just going to hide it even worse, which is going to cause even more of y'all to be bitching and complaining about how men are liars. And it was like, he has a point. He has a point. Because regardless of anything, it's so many dudes. Like, first of all, let's be clear, honest. The dudes that these women be checking for, the ones, these thug dudes that be like that, you know, the old 90s trope of the thug dude that like had to bust their guns and went to jail and yada yada yada. They in jail getting their ass cheeks popped. Like, they getting their ass cheeks popped, or they pop some dudes' ass cheeks. Like, cause if you hyper-masculine, full with testosterone, you full of just like young, dumb, full of cum type shit, all you're gonna want to do is fucking bust a nut. So eventually it's gonna come a point where it's gonna be like a hole is a hole. like Bill Burr said on Dave Chappelle episode, a hole is a hole day. like half the time these same dudes and these women that be like, oh, what a bar dude, they be messing with the DL dudes who act like they act super extra masculine for no reason. So it's so funny when it comes down to like this discourse, because like, who cares what anybody's doing unless they're doing it with you? And if they're doing it with you, then it is what it is. That's where I come down to it. That's like honestly where it comes down to the whole situation of anybody doing anything with anybody. It comes down to a point of just being like, if you're happy with who you with, be happy with who you with. Like, it's not rocket science. But to actually try to have this like discourse and talk about the things that you don't like, or talk about other people's like personal proclivities of what they do, it has nothing to do with you. It's so comical to me, and I enjoy it because honestly, it just feels it's just more real life comedy to me. That's all it is. It's a real life comedy because it doesn't make sense, and it just exposes the hypocritical nature of like so many different people. And that's where it comes down to for me, where I found it the most like tickling, because I'm like, this is the reason why I stopped trying to like date certain women, and like I just was like, I'm good on all of it, because I've been around the block. I was about to say been around the world. Yeah. But like, I've been around the block, and I've met so many different women who literally have lied about who they are, or hypocritical about their own tendencies, and like it just becomes this like weird like amalgamation of just bullshit. You know, and I'm like, who wants to keep dealing with that? Like, once again, that's why I'm like, I'm so happy that I am finding people who I found, of course, I have my companion who's in Georgia, and I adore them like to the utmost. I'm so proud of them, by the way. They're actually doing a lot of stuff in their life right now, and they're getting closer to their own child soon. Like, they're gonna be moving soon, and I'm excited. Like, I'm so happy for them. Like, they're about to get their own car. Like, they're about to move back to like the same state where their child is. Like, which means they're gonna be able to see their child like on a daily basis now. Like, I'm so excited, but I digress. Like, to now more recently find people that are genuine people people who genuinely want to help other people and genuinely have that same like energy as me, as just wanting to like bring some light into the world and bring some type of like betterment like to this timeline. Like it's so great and fascinating that I'm able to like I'm starting to find those people now, and to feel less alone in like this type of atmosphere of being like being so surrounded by so many different black holes, like being in my upbringing, to now find another like light, another starlight that's out there that wasn't drained by the black holes that were surrounding them, and that they can shine as bright as they want to shine now because they are confident and, you know, in tune with themselves and just understand why they want to be here, instead of like falling for the trope of being told of why they should be here. This is such a beautiful thing. I am super excited. I'm super happy about it. But yeah, I did not realize it's 5:30. So I want to say thank you all for traversing this verse with me. I appreciate you all. I hope you all find that light inside yourselves and find those people that shine, that reflect their light back to you as well. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the time that you have with your loved ones, and be good to yourselves. That's all I gotta say for this week, and I will talk to y'all next week. Have a good one. See y'all later. This has been a Troyiverse production.